Coming up next, it's Whiteout Weekend at Penn State. With ESPN's College Game Day in town, we'll give you everything you need to know. Plus, a special guest in our studio.
And we're live at Nittany Villa's students camp out for the big game.
Also ahead, CBD products are booming nationwide. See who's offering CBD food, including pizza, in our area. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Katie Park.
And I'm Tom Johnston. Thanks for joining us. Tens of thousands of people are traveling to State College today for one of the biggest weekends of the year, the Penn State Whiteout football game. ESPN's College Game Day show is also in town to broadcast live from campus. Reporter Zach Kaplan is live at the Hub Lawn with more on what fans can expect tomorrow. Zach?
Thanks, guys. And I'm here live at the Hub Lawn where they expect a sea of white Penn State fans for tomorrow's college football pregame show. I caught up with some of the crew this week to check in on the preparations for College Game Day. Check it out.
As Penn State hosts the annual Whiteout game at Beaver Stadium Saturday night, many fans will start the day with an entirely different spectacle. ESPN's College Game Day went 8 years without visiting Penn State, but Saturday's visit will mark a milestone as the show previews the Penn State-Michigan matchup. Head coach James Franklin says that having Game Day on campus brings the program national significance.
I think it's pretty cool that I think this is accurate in the history of Penn State football. We've played a lot of good football here for a long time. This is the first time ever that we've had Game Day on our campus 3 years in a row.
ESPN's Judy Weiss, the senior operations producer for Game Day, says traveling week to week provides a new difficulty each time.
Well, the biggest logistical challenge was finding a place for our mobile unit and our generator to park, because it's not only about getting the two trucks up to here, but I have to have a clear shot for my uplink. And so we had to pick the middle of the lawn in order to place the vehicles.
Weiss is a Penn State alum and spoke about how it feels to be back in State College once again.
It's been really exciting the last 3 years that I've gotten to come back to Penn State and do the show here. I have lion pride for sure.
Penn State Athletics is encouraging fans to walk to Hub Lawn on Saturday morning. The parking is available downtown. If you want access to the pit in front of the College Game Day stage, fans are able to start lining up at 5:30 a.m. on Saturday morning.
And right behind me on the set, they'll be airing college football live at 3 p.m. this afternoon, originating here from the Hub Lawn. There's also a traffic advisory until 6 p.m. tomorrow. Henderson Drive, which is a street located on campus, will be closed so they can help with the takedown of the Game Day set. Live from the Hub, I'm Zach Kaplan for the Center County Report.
Thanks, Zach. Another tradition for Whiteout Week is a week-long campout by students at Nittanyville outside Beaver Stadium. Our team coverage continues with reporter Dylan Huberman live at the stadium. Dylan?
Hey guys, I'm right here outside of Gate A in Nittanyville, where students have been camping out in the sunshine as well as some cold and rain that has come through this week. We all know that tomorrow, once they get into the game, they'll be just as loud as ever. But without Matt Solomon, what would that energy look like?
Matt Solomon is a seemingly ordinary student at Penn State, majoring in criminology. When Penn State football plays at home, however, he's anything but ordinary. He looks like this on game days, serving as the hype man in the hard hat who purchased all the face paint in State College and serves as the treasurer of Nittanyville. And boy, can he get loud.
Let's go, baby! Whiteout Week! Ah! Let's go, baby! Beat Michigan! All us, baby! All us, let's go!
This past Monday and Thursday nights, this tent right in front of Gate A was his home. Why does he do all of this for a Penn State football game, you may ask? He decided to go to Penn State in the week leading up to the 2017 Whiteout.
Well, I saw Saquon Barkley down here before the Michigan Whiteout on ESPN, and I was like, oh, if I get into Penn State, I got to do this.
Once Solomon finally did arrive on campus, it didn't take long for him to join the party at Gate A. Justin Liebman, Solomon's roommate and one of his closest friends at Penn State, believes he knows the sources of his unrivaled energy.
People perceive him to almost be belligerent about Penn State sports, but honestly, I think he's just very passionate. He's always played sports his entire life. He's been a team captain all of high school. So, I mean, it's just something he always has that same passion with everything he does.
He puts that passion on display every home game at Beaver Stadium.
Now, tomorrow night, you're going to see a lot of energy, especially from the guy wearing this hat. Now, guys, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Dylan. A judge has set a resentencing date for former Penn State football coach Jerry Sandusky. He's serving a 30 to 60-year prison sentence for child sex abuse, but an appeals court ruled mandatory minimums have been improperly applied to the case. It's not clear whether his sentence will change much after the hearing on November 8th.
President Trump is coming to Pennsylvania next week. He'll give a speech in Pittsburgh at a conference for the natural gas industry. The event comes as hydraulic fracking is emerging as an issue in the 2020 presidential campaign. Meantime, the Trump impeachment inquiry continues in Washington with testimony this week from government officials. Reporter Elisa Vasquez found mixed reaction here in Central PA to the process.
House Democrats are showing no signs of easing up on the fast-moving impeachment inquiry against President Donald Trump. The president, meantime, calls the whole thing an illegitimate process. Here in Pennsylvania, which is setting up to be a key state again in the next election, reaction to the impeachment situation is mixed.
Through his time in office, he's shown time and time again that he is unfit to serve as president and has been doing things that no president has ever done before. And we continue to make excuses instead of just, saying straight up, this is unacceptable.
College Republicans President Max Myers disagrees.
If the Democrats are looking to, in some way, defeat Trump, which I would assume they are, I've talked to a few of them, I would prefer it be done in a more democratic process, as is their name. To beat him in a free and fair election in 2020 would be much more preferable. At this point, I'm not sure what the odds of that are. However, I don't think the impeachment route is necessarily the best way to defeat Donald Trump.
The process will likely drag on for months and includes two distinct parts.
First stage is if the House will vote to impeach him. So that's just the first step, is also called impeachment, but that doesn't mean he's going to be removed from office.
If the House votes to impeach Trump, a 2/3 vote is needed in the Senate to remove him from office, and that's never happened before in U.S. history. I'm Elisa Vasquez for the Center County Report.
Right now, it does not look like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will give in to Republican demands for a formal vote anytime soon on impeachment.
State College has one of the best school districts in Pennsylvania, according to a new ranking list. Niche.com, a website that analyzes public data to public schools and neighborhoods, put out the list. It says the State College Area School District is number 16 out of nearly 500 school PA districts. Factors include state scores, teachers' quality, graduation rates, and more. State College earns an overall A+. Easttown School District in southeastern Pennsylvania earned the #1 spot.
With the huge rise of CBD-based products, businesses in Central PA are starting to sell them. And as reporter Jenna Minning shows us, that even includes CBD pizza.
You can get it in oils and gummies, and now you can get it in pizza.
It was amazing. Like I said, the flavor just pops.
CBD is skyrocketing in popularity, and it's making its way to our area in the form of food. CBD is a compound found in hemp plants that can be used to treat pain and anxiety in its users. Now, many business owners are adding it into their products. John Jennings owns Pizza Mia in Bellefonte, and for the past 7 months, he and his wife Mel have been working on a new recipe.
When you add that element of this herb to it and you bite into that, it's an explosion of, as I mentioned earlier, parsley, oregano. It almost, again, takes you back to your grandma's kitchen.
The father of 6 says he's seen the positive effects CBD can have firsthand after a friend gave him a treatment to help with cramps.
He gave me the CBD salve, Canaway salve. He gave me that. And I put it on the cramp, and the cramp went away.
Pizza Mia isn't the only place where CBD is being sold. Local shops like Nature's Pantry are taking advantage of its popularity.
Currently, we carry liquids, capsules, we carry gummies.
Briggs told us she started researching CBD and its effects 5 years ago.
We spent a lot of time researching companies. So, I mean, now there's thousands of companies out there.
While CBD is a cannabis derivative, it's different from THC because it does not create a marijuana high.
It's healthy, not high.
And that combo is turning into big business here and around the nation. In State College, I'm Jenna Minnig for the Center County Report.
Pizza Mia says it'll begin selling their Hemperoni pizza next Wednesday.
There's a lot more ahead on the Center County Report, including a landmark business in our area that's closing down after more than 120 years.
Plus, a member of ESPN's on-air team joins us live in the studio to talk about College Game Day at Penn State. Also ahead,
a freeze warning is in effect overnight tonight, and as we look live at Beaver Stadium, preparations are underway for the big game tomorrow night. Whiteout conditions are expected inside of Beaver Stadium. I'll have your game day forecast coming up.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Get caught buzzed driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're going to take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Penn State researchers have recently received a multi-million-dollar grant to study adoption in Pennsylvania. They hope to gain new insight into kids and their adoptive families. I have more on the story.
Like, my parents absolutely adore me a little bit too much at some points.
Kyle Mertz was adopted when he was just 1 day old by Tom and Liz Mertz.
I was raised in such a loving, caring home.
He is just one of the thousands of children adopted in Pennsylvania each year. But not all adopted children end up in the hands of a loving family like Kyle's.
I know some people who've been adopted into families that weren't as good as mine, mainly because of lack of research about the parents.
Penn State researchers received a nearly $4 million grant to explore successful post-adoption development in kids. They'll study factors that impact adopted children, especially kids who are older when they're adopted.
What we're trying to do is figure out, in the early stages of an adoption, so within the first year of adoption, what kind of factors in the home predict better developmental outcomes for these children.
A goal of the project is to provide information to caseworkers and adoptive families, including suggestions on how to improve a child's adjustment to their new home. Hopefully, more kids end up in a loving home like Kyle.
They opened me up to a bunch of opportunities that I probably wouldn't have been able to get if I was still living with my birth mom, because she had me when she was really young. So
the research study is working with the statewide adoption network to recruit adopted children and their parents.
A Bellefonte drugstore that's been in business for more than 120 years is closing up shop, and that's leaving many customers nostalgic about a piece of local history. Reporter Steven Sficco went to find out what makes this place so special.
On the corner of North Allegheny and Pike in Bellefonte, you'll find an old, seemingly sparse drugstore. But this isn't just any drugstore, it's a home.
media.
Nancy Richner has been coming to Parish Apothecary for about 60 years.
You know, it's wonderful to have a private-owned drugstore where they know you, they know your family, they're ready to help you, you trust them.
But Parish Apothecary will soon close for financial reasons. Payroll and new inventory are getting tougher to manage for the shop's 83-year-old owner, Jay Montgomery. His son, Dave, says it's hard on everyone.
It's been very emotional. I never realized how much we meant to the community. Didn't realize how much the community meant to us. We've had laughs, crying, shared stories. There's stories that, we're sharing with each other.
Dave's been working here as a pharmacist for about 30 years now, but he's been coming here ever since he was 5 years old, helping his parents out in the shop. And even his siblings would like to have a little fun. They'd walk up these stairs here into this little window, make some paper airplanes and throw them down to the front of the store. Montgomery watched his parents run the store since he was 5 years old, and he even met his wife across the street at another locally owned pharmacy, Plum's. Over the years, the stores helped each other out when one ran low on supplies.
The big drugstores are fine, but they're not personal. And this has been such a beautiful personal relationship here.
The Montgomerys will be sticking around for a few more weeks to clean out the store. Medicine, files, pieces of history. They're encouraging people to stop by to say hello and goodbye.
Well, thank you.
In Bellefonte, I'm Steven Svitko for the Center County Report.
Stay dry.
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Matt Yurosavik. Taking a look live right now at Beaver Stadium where the big game will take place tomorrow. Our winds will die down, and through the rest of today, we'll see these clouds dissipate and we'll be left under sunny skies for the rest of the day. Right now, conditions outside at Beaver Stadium, 50 degrees under some slight cloud cover. It is feeling like 50 now that our wind has died down just a bit. The temperatures will be the big story, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Outside right now, Clearfield, a degree cooler at 49 degrees, 45 down in Johnstown. If we zoom out a little bit, 50 over in Pittsburgh, and our friends in Philadelphia at 56 degrees at this hour, and that will get a little bit warmer as we head through the day. As we look at radar and satellite, we can see those high clouds just kind of hanging around here in portions of the northern portions of the state, as well as here in Center County. But nothing on radar, so it's a dry day across the state and much of the East Coast, as we can see here. Our storm system that affected us over the last couple of days is now well up into Canada and taking that precipitation and wind along with it. Temperatures, as I mentioned, the big story as we head through the day and into the overnight hours, 53 around 5 o'clock later this afternoon. And as we head into the early morning hours tomorrow, we will get right down around the freezing mark here in Center County. And then temperatures will then again jump back up into the high 50s, near 60 degrees by tomorrow when you head out for your tailgate. Now, because we're getting down really cold tonight into the low 30s, we are under a freeze warning here in State College, and that will be in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But today, 54 degrees, decreasing clouds. Then overnight tonight, we do drop down to that freezing point, 32 degrees, but clear. For your college game day forecast at 9 o'clock, 36 degrees. And then for your game time forecast tomorrow night, not looking bad for tailgating and kickoff around 52 degrees. A quick look at your 7-day forecast. It's not all that bad. A chance for showers on Sunday and then Tuesday. I'm going to send it to Courtney at the desk with a special guest.
Thanks, Matt. I'm Courtney Guyrie with sports, and here today with me, we've got ESPN's Gene Wojciechowski. Gene, thanks for coming in today. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was doing really good until I heard it was going to be 36 degrees tomorrow for game day. I didn't bring warm clothes.
Going to be a little chilly.
Yeah, a little chilly.
So this is your guys' third year coming back. What is it about Penn State and the atmosphere that keeps you guys coming back year after year?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the game, of course, and this is as big of a game as there is. And you couple that with the atmosphere here and the excitement and the whiteout and all the things that make Penn State football. And it's a great martini mix for us as far as the environment, the game, the excitement. It's a no-brainer.
I'm so excited. So you got Penn State coming in undefeated, a great quarterback, multiple offensive weapons, and a good defense versus a Michigan team that's 5-1 and has seen some inconsistency on the offensive end.
Yeah.
Do you think Michigan has what it takes to pull off this upset?
Well, I suppose so. Anything's possible. They have been one of the most inconsistent teams in the country. Penn State has been much more consistent. So Do they have a chance? Of course they have a chance. It's Michigan. They're playing a little better lately, but winning at this place is a tough thing to do.
So a little bit on another note, I see you're doing a story tomorrow about SMU's comeback after the death penalty effects. Do you see any similarities between that and Penn State's return after the sanctions they had?
Yeah, that's a really good question. There are similarities, though SMU was basically wiped off the face of the earth for 2 years. Penn State certainly had its challenges and a rebuilding and a resurrection. SMU started from scratch. The penalties here at Penn State were stiff, but they weren't to the same level as SMU. So what SMU has accomplished, and it's taken 32 years, Courtney, is similar to Penn State, but not exactly.
All right, so back to the whiteout. Tomorrow, everybody's going to be excited to hear Lee Corso's pick. But today, here in our studio, we want to know, what are you picking tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't have headgear like Coach Corso does. I'm sorry about that. It's probably a disappointment. Well, I'm going to pick Penn State, and for a lot of different reasons, but, playing at home, a whiteout game, the fact that you can sort of depend on what you've seen out of Penn State this season, and Michigan has not been that kind of team. So would it stun me if Michigan won? No, of course not. But if you're asking me to pick, I'm not dumb enough to be in a Penn State studio and not take Penn State.
All right, Gene, there you have it. Thanks so much for coming in again.
Okay.
After the break, I'll bring you more in sports, including Penn State men's hockey and Penn State men's soccer. Stick around.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How would you not love him?
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Time of year again. Penn State is back in Beaver Stadium tomorrow night for the highly anticipated whiteout game against Michigan. As the team prepared this week, I stopped by practice to get a closer look at the reason many people have been hopping on the Cane train.
Coming off back-to-back 100-plus rushing yard performances against Purdue and Iowa, true freshman running back Noah Cain has made his mark on Penn State's roster and in the Big Ten.
When he's running, he could take multiple guys with him and just drag them. I thought that was pretty impressive for a guy his size.
But with Penn State's whiteout game upon us, Coach Franklin has yet to make an official call when it comes to who his go-to back is, repeating that he plans on keeping his 4-player rotation going.
There's going to be a week where I come in here and you guys are talking about Devin Ford being the next great running back at Penn State. There's going to be a week I come in and it's Journey Brown. There's going to be a week that it's Noah Cain, and there's going to be week Ricky Slade. And all four of those guys have the ability to be as good as there is.
Although Franklin has not decided who will be the back to come forward out of the group, many Penn State fans have hopped on the Kane train after he shined in last week's matchup at Iowa. His teammates have taken notice too, as Steven Gonzalez specifically says Kane's aggressiveness forces the offensive line to step it up a notch.
You want to block more, and it makes you want to block longer to the whistle. And you can obviously you could see in the film a lot of us try to, when we see him dragging a couple guys, we try to help him out and push him.
Michigan's coming into this game 5-1 with an away loss against Wisconsin. Kickoffs at 7:30. You can listen live on Penn State's Com Radio. Penn State men's hockey took on the University of Alaska Fairbanks last night. The Nittany Lions won 7-0 with Peyton Jones recording his first shutout of the season. For Penn State, freshman Tyler Gratton registered his first goal in blue and white, and 5 other Nittany Lions also found the back of the net. Nikita Pavlichev made his season debut after being injured before the season. Penn State will close the series with Alaska tonight. Puck drop is at 7. Penn State men's soccer is back in action tomorrow after hosting the Pitt Panthers at Jeffrey Field on Tuesday. The Nittany Lions got off to a slow start against Pitt until senior Aaron Malloy put one in the back of the net and a penalty kick in the 36th minute. Penn State scored 2 more in the second half and won 3-1. The Lions travel to Madison tomorrow and will try to push their win streak to 3 against Wisconsin. That's all I have for sports. Now back to you guys at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Courtney. We have more ahead on the Center County Report.
Coming up next on the Center County Report, find out why so many people are going over the edge of this building.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brush and brush with a grown-up every day.
Normally, people raise money for charity by selling cookies or candy or popcorn, but one local nonprofit took a different approach to raise money for a good cause. It involves going over the edge of a building. Megan Drakis explains.
State College's tallest building became a giant rock wall on Thursday.
I just rappelled off a 12-story building here.
This morning, over 70 people will be going over the edge of this building, like Spider-Man right behind me.
The Faith Center and Interfaith Human Services teamed up to raise money for both their organizations by hosting the second State College Over the Edge event.
Over the Edge is actually an international organization, and they go into different communities and partner with nonprofit agencies to raise money by rappelling off buildings in cities.
Nicole Summers, executive director of the Faith Center, says their organization gives back to the community through free back-to-school giveaways, its pet food pantry, and emergency aid programs for people in a financial crisis. Interfaith Human Services also helps people in the local community.
Have the heating assistance program for the entire county, and they have an array of financial and budgeting programs. They also have the free furniture distribution site.
Carrie Carr, a board member of the Interfaith Human Services, felt it was important to give back and raised almost $1,300. For her, this event hits close to home.
I was a single mom, and I was helped by some of the agencies. And I think it's important we have the safety net for people.
When asked if she'd go over the edge next year, Carrie responded with a laugh.
I don't think I'll go over the edge, but I'll gladly work as a volunteer at the table or something.
In State College, I'm Megan Drakis for the Center County Report.
This year, the Faith Center raised more than $86,000 from the event.
That's all for today's newscast. You can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Twitter feed. That's at Center County REP, or on our Facebook page. We also have a Center County Report Instagram. Join us for our next newscast on Tuesday. Have a good weekend.